Hello and welcome back to my next podcast. Um, Today I'm going to talk a little bit more about the booklet I got when I did my first round of Ocrevus. I was going to do a second podcast this week, or the week just gone, but I've been a little bit busy. There's been a couple of quite big life changes for me to talk about, one of which I'm going to say is absolutely massive. I'm going to talk about that. Before I do anything else, let me just sort of get back on with the book that I received, because I'll be honest with you, I think it's worth talking about. As I say, I mean, it says here, it talks about the treatment itself. And it sort of goes through support and everything, which I'll be honest with you, I think it's well worth having a conversation about, because if anyone out there is maybe waiting for Ocrevus treatment, it might be worth sort of just having a bit of a listen and getting some ideas, because I know with me in the build up to it, I have to admit I was actually quite nervous. That's an understatement. I was incredibly nervous, I'll be honest. But at the same time, I had other people explaining how Ocrevus works, how it works for them, and whatever else. And I'll be honest with you, it helped quite a lot. It did sort of calm the nerves ever so slightly. And I'm a couple of months on since that treatment. And up to this point, perfectly fine. Perfectly fine in terms of what the treatment itself does. It's not caused me any major issues at this point. But again, we don't know going forward. But I'm actually very confident. I am very confident. And again, I've not really had any new issues since the treatment. It's all old stuff. I've said this a few times, it's all old stuff. Yeah, okay, it's old stuff at times that is actually getting worse. Kind of expect that with a progressive condition. It was always going to happen. Again, it's one of those. So, again, I mean, it's sort of explaining things here about if you're on other disease-modifying treatments, DMTs, you would need to stop that, obviously, to start another one. You certainly would not want to be combining two. But again, it's telling you things about having blood tests and whatever else. Again, with me, they gave me quite a few blood tests. I was checking for all sorts of things, even down to, do I have the antibodies to deal with chickenpox? Thankfully, I do. But again, I mean, that's the sort of thing that surprised me. It's like, chickenpox, I had that when I was a kid, but I can understand why, because again, when they're putting this stuff in your system, it's attacking those cells that really would attack those kind of conditions. So in all fairness, they're going to need to know what's there, what's not there, and everything else. So it's understandable. Blood tests, yeah, I fully understand that. Pregnancy test. Clearly, I didn't have a pregnancy test. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm putting on a little bit of weight these days, but I didn't need a pregnancy test. And again, the things like not taking blood pressure medications 12 hours before actually sitting to take Ocrevus, and talking to your medical team should that be an issue. With anything like that, always talk to your medical teams, no matter what. Talk to your medical teams. They're the ones that can give you all of the advice that you're going to need. Talking about having live vaccines when you're taking Ocrevus, again, talk to your medical teams about that. They will explain to you what you can, what you can't, and everything else. Because again, everyone is going to react differently, so your medical team should hopefully know what's best for you. So again, yes, not to breastfeed while you're on Ocrevus. A bit of a more serious one. Don't start Ocrevus if you currently have cancer. That again, Ocrevus is attacking your immune system. Your immune system is going to be needed to do whatever it can to try and fight that kind of condition. So that is quite a serious one. That not one we can joke about and play around with. That's very, very serious. Talking to your doctor if you've ever had hepatitis B or are a carrier for Hep B. Hopefully the blood test they give you should show that up if it's in your system. So again, talk to your medical team. I'm going to say that a lot. Talk to your medical team, because your medical team will be able to point you in the right direction. I'm literally just giving you what I've got in front of me in this book, and I have to admit this little booklet was quite helpful, and I have sort of had a bit of a flick through it since the last podcast when I was going through it really for the first time. So yeah, I mean, I have had a bit of a look through. Talking about the day before your infusion, if you've got any kind of sign of infection, if you've got fevers, chills, anything like that, get in touch with your teams, because they might have to put your infusion back, because again, Ocrevus is there and it's going to lower your immune system. If you've already got a cold, cough, anything like that, anything at all, you might just have to put it back. It would be worth it in the long run. Just even if it's just for a couple of weeks, talk to your team, get it put back, because you don't want to put something that's going to attack your immune system into your system while you're already not well. I know that sounds really, really silly, and it's something that pretty much everyone's going to know, but I've got to put that one out there. Purely and simply because, yeah, that actually makes so much sense. It's unreal. It really, really does. Another thing they've got here, I'm not even going to bother reading this bit. With Ocrevus, you have your first 2 half bags. You have them 15 days apart. And then what they do 6 months after that, they'll get you in for your next full bag. So you have your 2 halves close together, and that's just really to get your body used to what's going on, because again, Ocrelizumab, Ocrevus, it's quite a serious medication, so it's well worth them sort of just checking that your body's going to cope with it before anything else. So don't be surprised by that. Every 6 months after that, I think we can cope with that. If it's going to mean that actually we should be in a better position to try and not to have too many worsening symptoms. You're always going to have some. But let's be fair, this isn't a cure. Ocrevus is not a cure. It's not going to make everything go away. Hopefully it's just going to slow the roll a little bit and make things a bit more comfortable. Probably the best word I can think of right now. Make things a little bit comfortable in the intervening time. Saying here, for your infusion day, make sure you've got something to pass the time. Yes, absolutely yes. Whether it be a book, laptop, your mobile phone, whatever, snacks, drink, take something with you. Please take something with you, because honestly it does take a while. It's not done in 10 minutes. Take something with you, pass the time, because quite honestly you're going to need to. So yeah, please do that. It might sound really, really daft, but yeah, I mean, it is quite a big one. Again, as it's saying here, it's talking about pre-medication. So they're going to put a steroid into your system. That is something that, quite honestly, is very much necessary. Sticking that steroid through you, again, just to try and help your body a little bit. Also antihistamine. Antihistamine, again, it's just going to try and help your body. Any kind of reactions that you might have, the antihistamine is there to try and fight it off a little bit and make it less of an issue. So again, on the day, they will go through your system before Ocrevus does. And I know it might sound a little bit, wow, this is quite scary, and it is. I'll be honest, it is quite scary, but at the same time, actually, if it's going to help slow things down, it is, in my personal opinion, it's worth trying. It really is worth trying, because you don't know. If you don't have the treatment, again, some people don't, and that's perfectly fine, it's personal choice. But for me, I had to give it a go, and I will continue to give it a go to try and give me a way of fighting back a little bit more medically. It's all well and good me fighting back in a personal sense, and I'm always going to do that, but just that little something in my system to try and help that is perfectly fine. And for me, yes. Talking about infusion related after effects, which is something that, to be honest with you, and as it says here, 24 hours after the infusion, is something you've got to look out for. And any kind of reaction, itching, throat irritation, shortness of breath, flushing is something. After the second one, I actually had a little bit of around the old face. I was a little bit red, but nothing major. Low blood pressure. I've actually got a blood pressure cuff at home, so I can check my blood pressure. But if you think you've got an issue with that, please go and get seen. Doesn't matter whether you go to a chemist, whether you go to your doctors, whether you go to A&E, any kind of medical specialist, get your blood pressure checked if you're concerned. It's worth doing. Better safe than sorry. Fever, feeling tired. I actually, again, it's something I did suffer with, especially after the second one. I was falling asleep on the sofa quite a bit. Headaches, feeling dizzy, feeling sick, and a fast heartbeat. Any of that sort of stuff, make a phone call. Again, get yourself checked. Better safe than sorry. I'm saying that a lot today, aren't I? But it is absolutely something that, again, this is all new. It's all new to you. It's all new to me. If you're not sure, speak to those that know. That's exactly where I'm going with it. It's exactly what I'm going to do, because you just don't know. What I am going to say at this point, I'm probably going to sort of give the book a bit of a rest, because there's still quite a bit more of it. I'm going to be honest with you. It's talking about things like more support. Again, whatever country you're in, a little Google search, and you're very likely to find someone somewhere, some kind of charity somewhere that's hopefully going to be able to give you help and advice. It's well worth it for me, and I'm going to be honest, I use the MS Society. They're incredible, absolutely superb. They really are. I can't thank them enough for all the help they've given me over the last year. And to be fair, they don't even really know just how much help they've given me, but it's huge, absolutely huge. And their website is www.mssociety.org.uk. As I say, that's just the one that I personally use. You've got the MS Trust, www.mstrust.org.uk, and shift.ms, which is www.shift.ms. again, sort of things, sort of people that can offer help. It's always worth getting the help if you can. Let's be totally honest, it really, really is. Now, I'm going to kind of knock that on the head for a little bit now. I've had quite a big week. Life-changing. The MS diagnosis, life-changing enough. Because of the MS diagnosis, and because of how things have gone with my mobility, and let me make this clear right now, my mobility is not great. I struggle with foot drop on my right hand side quite a lot, more than quite a lot, it's constant. I do struggle walking around much of a distance or whatever else, but I'm capable of doing it should I need to. Now, on that note, over the last couple of months there's been meetings with my work, and I'm not going to go massively into detail here with the kind of meetings, but they're quite important. And it's very much come to light that we've made an agreement for me to leave the company. Now, I've been with them for the 4th of May would be 8 years with my current company. The agreement has been made after me talking to legal professionals as well as work. It's time for me to step away. Now, my line of business, I've been in the security industry for 20 years. It's a long time, a very, very long time. And I believe personally I could continue for quite some time. I do think there would come a time eventually where I would have to say, okay, you know, here we go. But I'm capable of doing what I was doing to an extent. I've been a manager of the site that I'm on, with another manager working the opposite shifts. Again, I've got to say I think I continue for a while yet, but the time has come. I'm officially waiting for the paperwork, but a couple of days ago was the last time I would put on my work uniform. It wasn't easy, I'll be honest with you, it wasn't easy, but at the same time you got to do things at times that you don't want to do. This is one of those things for me I didn't want to do. I genuinely believe I've got a lot more to offer. I can sit, I can do emails, I can do scheduling, CCTV monitoring. Literally, there is so many different things that I could still do. But sometimes you've got to accept, and when legal professionals are saying to you it's probably the right thing to do, there we go. So as it stands at the moment, I'm, for want of a better term, I'm on gardening leave. But it's just a formality at this point, waiting for the paperwork to come through, and then that will be me done. 20 years in security, done, gone, boom, poof. No more getting up at 4:15 in the morning to go to work 4 days a week for 12 hours a day. Yeah, that ship has sailed. Time for me to start looking for something else, and for me to start a new chapter. And part of that new chapter is going to be these podcasts, really trying to ramp things up a little bit. My social media accounts, again, ramping things up a little bit, really trying to push this different way of life, because that's kind of where we are now. I'm at a point where it's a different way of life. One door closes, well, I kick through the next one, and that's what I'm going to do. On a lighter note, I had a physio appointment, and I know I've mentioned it, I was being fitted up for a FES machine, functional electrical stimulation. Wow, absolutely wow. There's not a lot more I can say. It was incredible. As I say, I've been walking for a long time with quite severe foot drop on the right hand side. My toes drag across the floor. I can't lift my foot properly to walk, anything like that. They put this FES machine on me, and don't get me wrong, it's not going to cure things like the fatigue I suffer when I walk or anything like that. I'm not expecting it to, but what it is doing is it's raising my foot, so actually I could walk properly for the first time in a very, very, very long time. I was able to walk properly. I could walk. I was still using my crutches. That's fine, not bothered about that. But I was walking without the fear of falling over. I was walking actually stood upright. Not done that in a while. I've hunched over when I walk and whatever else for a very long time because I'm trying to adjust myself to the point I'm not going to fall over, and I'm trying to sort of get used to walking with the foot drop. I didn't need to do that. This machine was on me and I didn't need to do that. It was absolutely superb. I don't know what more I can say about it. The referral has been put in for me to go and get one that I can bring home and use in my daily life. Just honestly, I can't explain how it made me feel to actually use that machine and be able to walk properly. Yeah, the day after I suffered. Wow, honestly, I was in agony because I pushed myself that hard. I don't care. I'll take that, because being able to walk properly means actually I wasn't falling over. I wasn't risking falling over. I was being able to walk more comfortably, stood upright. Just wow. Just wow. The two physios I had with me, absolutely incredible. Absolutely different class. It was to the point, and I'm going to be totally straight with you, I got emotional. Walking properly like that for the first time in such a long time, I got really emotional, and yeah, there was more than one tear shed. Because genuinely I didn't think that would ever happen again. I never ever thought I would walk like that again. So yeah, honestly, I can't explain to you just how it made me feel. It was a whole different level of superb. There's not really a lot more I can say about it apart from wow. It's going to take a few months, I think, to get me home. That's fine. The sooner the better. But that's fine. I'll accept that. However long it takes, because actually it's worth the wait. Very much worth the wait. So yeah, I mean that's how my week's been. As I say, it's been a bit of a life changer. The fact that I don't get up for work in the morning anymore, it's going to take some getting used to. And yes, I am looking for work. It's not me done in the workplace, but it's me done in that type of workplace. 20 years in the same industry. Yeah, it's long. It's very, very long. But there's other things out there that I can do, and I'm going to do. Let's just see where the time takes us on that one. I'll keep you up to date, don't panic. I'll keep you up to date. So yeah, massively life-changing week. I'm going to be honest, effectively losing my job. I haven't been dismissed or anything like that. It's a mutual agreement, one that I probably wouldn't have agreed to if I didn't need to, but I've agreed to it. And this FES machine, again, that could change my life. I'm going to be honest, that could change the way I get about. It could hopefully make things a little bit easier when it comes to walking. wow. Absolutely wow. I can't say anything more than that. That machine is just different class. But yeah, I think that's probably where we're going to leave it for today. As I say, I wanted to get the conversation out there about the book I received from the Ocrevus treatment, because again, from my point of view, I was really nervous. So if I can try and help some others out there, I want to. Yeah, I want to. And I wanted to get the conversation out there. The cat's out of the bag now with regards to work. And yeah, that's where we are in terms of my Fez machine. In time, that's coming. And I can't wait. I genuinely can't wait. Well, thank you very much for listening. I know we're looking at another 25-minute a 25-minute podcast, this one. But do you know what? It was worth it. Very worth it. And I hope it's worth it for you to listen to. Have a great few days. I am going to be talking to you again soon, because I've got nothing but time on my hands. Speak soon. Bye-bye.